Coming into the 2023 college football season, we already had a very clear idea who the two top quarterbacks were going to be in the 2024 NFL Draft with Caleb Williams and Drake May. The QB3 spot, however, was kind of up in the air. Some people really loved Quinn Ewers. Other people were really high on Joe Milton. Some people loved Bo Nix. But through the halfway point of the season, Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr. has really made an extremely strong case to be one of the top quarterbacks in the draft. While there are some glaring issues, Penix is the head of one of the most electric offenses in the country, and today I will be telling you guys what makes him so special. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, I have done a bunch of these prospect spotlights already. I am uploading these at 4 p.m. Eastern every Friday and Saturday, so if you enjoy this, hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and leave a comment and let me know what you guys think of Michael Penix Jr. down in the comment section below. But without further ado, let's get into it. In 2022, Michael Penix Jr. transferred from the University of Indiana to Washington, and he absolutely lit it up. He threw for 4,641 yards, 31 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions on the season. He also ran for another 4 touchdowns on top of that. But so far in 2023, Penix has taken his game up another notch. He has 1,999 yards, 16 touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions, and Washington is sitting at the top of the Pac-12, and Penix is probably the Heisman frontrunner through the halfway point of college football. Penix has some of the most amazing ball placement I have ever seen at the collegiate level. He can make any throw, literally any throw. There will be so many throws where he will hit the wide receiver in motion, throwing it right over the head of the cornerback, fitting it into the most narrow of windows, and he fits the ball right in the money. He is incredibly accurate with the football, completing nearly 75% of his passes so far in 2023, which is absolutely incredible. Some of these throws, he couldn't hand the ball to the receivers any better. He has incredible ball placement at all 3 levels of the field. He also has very good deep ball accuracy and a pretty big arm. He can sling the ball 30-40 yards and put the ball right between the numbers of his wide receivers. You see this week after week with Penix. He's just putting the ball in the most perfect places, and he can make all the NFL throws that you love to see. Penix is more of a pocket passer, but he possesses incredible patience and makes really good decisions with the football. He scans the field exceptionally well, doesn't sit on one route for too long, and always seems to make the right play. While he isn't the greatest athlete in the world, and he won't be utilized as a runner all too much, his strengths in the pocket and his patience in the pocket especially, his accuracy and his ball placement, and his composure make him an extremely enticing prospect in the 2024 NFL Draft. You don't need super athletes, you need guys that can throw the ball to the receivers and make big plays, and Penix can do that. While he's not a terrible runner, it isn't one of his strengths by any means. And there are some areas of Penix's game that are pretty concerning. For one, he has a significant injury history. Prior to the 2022 season, Penix had never completed a full season in college. He never finished a full season at Indiana. He suffered 2 ACL injuries, an AC joint injury, and he's had a pretty significant injury history so far. Now, he hasn't suffered any serious injuries the last 2 years, and it looks like this issue might be behind him, but it is something that we're going to need to monitor once he gets to the NFL. Another thing Penix doesn't have going for him is his age. He is 23 years old and one of the older quarterback prospects in this class. Obviously, this is out of his control, but it could cause him to slip because teams want younger quarterbacks who have a bit more upside and they have a larger frame in their prime. A thing I have noticed with Penix is it looks like he is putting so much effort into his throws. His throws are far from effortless, and they just don't zip off his hand like you would like to see. Penix has a very strange throwing motion, and his lower body mechanics are off. He doesn't have terrific footwork, often standing stiff in the pocket, and it looks like he is using his entire arm to sling the ball deep down the field. It doesn't just flick out of his wrist like you would like to see. With a good quarterback coach, I think these things can improve, and he can really improve on his mechanics because he has all the upside in the world, and with some changes to the mechanics, I think he could be a superstar in the NFL. Penix has been a big riser for me this year. Sitting around 40 on my big board coming into the summer, he's been healthy and really played well. And if he can stay healthy, I think he's got a lot of skills that translate well to the NFL game. He is my QB3 in the draft and my number 15 player overall in the class. Scheme-wise, I think Penix would fit best in an air raid offense, an offense that allows him to use his greatest strength, his arm, and do it often. I think an offense that spreads the wide receivers and a playbook that is very pass-heavy will be very beneficial to Michael Penix Jr. and his development. Coming up with a comp for Penix was so difficult. He has a very unique play style, and there are not many left-handed quarterbacks to compare him to. My good friend the mock draft guy compared him to Russell Wilson, which I like. However, I don't see the mobility and the athleticism necessarily there with Penix. Like I mentioned, he's a solid runner, but he is not an amazing runner and an amazing athlete that can extend a ton of plays. The accuracy, however, and the big arm that Russell Wilson has, I can see with Michael Penix. I also see a little bit of Phillip Rivers in the odd throwing motions. Maybe I'm cheating a bit, but I think he is very similar to Tua Tagovailoa, only with better arm strength. Tua has struggled with his deep ball accuracy from time to time, often underthrowing his receivers, and that really hasn't been an issue for Michael Penix Jr. in college. They both are somewhat mobile, but they are better in the pocket, and they have similar mechanics as well, so Tua with a stronger arm is my comparison for Michael Penix Jr. Penix is a fun player. While there are concerns about his health and his age, I think he could go in and be a day one starter next year in the NFL. He makes NFL throws already, and with his accuracy, his poise, and the way he has been playing this season, I think Michael Penix Jr. will be a first-round pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.